The boy watched the washing machine spin for 6 hours, and when he opened the lid, his mother collapsed. "Hello, everyone. Enjoy these relaxing moments while you watch." The small kitchen quietly welcomed the morning, with golden sunlight streaming through the old floral curtain. Anne poured milk into a glass, her eyes still fixed on her 7-year-old son, sitting neatly on a chair, hands resting properly on his lap, his face strangely calm. The bedroom door swung open. David stepped out, his shirt crisply ironed, a light grey tie snug around his neck. He glanced at the mother and son before sitting down at the table. "What time is it?" "Almost 8. I just made breakfast." Andy gently set his glass of milk down, silently left the dining table and disappeared into the corner of the living room where the washing machine was thumping steadily. "He's sitting there again," Anne said softly. "Maybe he just likes watching it spin." "He's a kid," David frowned. "Kids shouldn't sit in front of the washing machine." "Do you know how dangerous electromagnetic waves are?" "I'll tell him to stay away." "No, I'll install a warning sign nearby. I've said it many times. Everything must be in order. This house cannot become a mess." Anne stayed silent. David placed his phone on the table, his eyes flicking to the screen. "The kitchen camera's been glitching. I'll fix it tonight. Don't leave the kitchen lights too bright. It ruins the recording quality." "Recording?" Anne asked. "I thought the camera was just for security." "You still don't get it. These days you have to be careful. There are perverts everywhere. If necessary, I'll protect you and the kid by any means." Andy was still sitting in front of the washing machine, his eyes fixed on the spinning round glass door. "Anne, haven't seen you in a while. How's Andy doing these days?" Old Mrs. Helena, the downstairs neighbor, flashed a toothless smile when she saw Anne standing in the hallway. "Well, we've been a bit busy. Andy still goes to school regularly, just a little quieter than before. He's a good kid, but the other day, I saw him sitting alone in the hallway the entire afternoon. He didn't speak, didn't smile, just hugged his pillow and stared at the stairs. It worried me. Where was this?" "Near the circuit breaker on the first floor. I called him several times, but he didn't answer. When I tried to go closer, he suddenly ran off." Anne fell silent. "Thank you, ma'am. I'll keep a closer eye on him. Anne, if you need anything, just call me. David? Well, he seems mature and all, but I still feel there's something a little cold about him." Anne pressed her lips together, nodded her thanks, and quickly walked back home. "Were you at the stairs earlier, Andy?" "No, I didn't go anywhere." "Did you go outside by yourself that day?" I don't remember." Anne looked deep into her child's eyes and saw an invisible emptiness. "Are you hiding something from Mommy?" Andy bit his lip, his voice as small as a mosquito. "I'm not supposed to say." "Who told you not to speak?" I don't remember." The door burst open. David stood there, arms crossed. "What are you two talking about?" "I was just asking Andy about school." "Let me do the asking." He stepped closer to Andy, his voice firm. "Who dropped the towel on the floor yesterday and didn't hang it back up?" Andy shrank back. "I'm sorry. How many times now? I've told you, you must put things back after using them. That's how you build discipline. You don't want to grow up careless, do you?" Anne stepped between them. "David, I dropped the towel. I forgot to pick it up." "You're always covering for him. You're ruining the child." Andy lowered his head, his hands clutching the hem of his shirt. "Mom, can I sit here for a bit?" "It's cold here, sweetheart." "Go to your room." "I like sitting here." The washing machine kept spinning like a trance. Anne draped a robe over Andy. "Why do you like sitting here?" "It spins and spins. Makes me forget." "Forget what?" "Forget the knocking." "What knocking?" "In the bathroom." "There's knocking and someone talking." Anne froze. "What did you hear?" Andy looked up, afraid, a deep voice whispering. I couldn't make it out, but every time the voice comes, the machine gets louder. Anne tightened her grip on her son's shoulders. One morning, while Anne was preparing lunch for Andy, she heard soft footsteps in the bathroom. "David, are you home?" No answer. She walked over and opened the door. The room was empty, but on the floor was a neatly folded, spotless towel. Andy peeked his head in from the living room. "Mom, I cleaned it. Who told you to do that?" Andy lowered his head. "I cleaned it myself. If it's clean, then the voice won't talk anymore. Sweetheart, no one can make you do anything. You don't have to clean. But if it's not clean, David will..." Anne went silent. "Are you afraid of David?" Andy didn't answer. Where are you going? I'm taking Andy to a therapist. David flipped his newspaper. Waste of money. The kid just needs discipline. He's been too quiet. He doesn't talk to friends, doesn't smile, doesn't sing. I'm worried. David narrowed his eyes. Are you implying I did something wrong? No, I just want to understand him better. David stood up, walked to the cabinet and grabbed his phone. If you've made up your mind, fine. But I'll be installing another camera in the hallway. Lately, Andy seems to be going out alone more often. You can't just put cameras everywhere. You want our kid to get kidnapped. I'm doing this to protect us. Andy, are you okay? I'm Dr. Vivian. You can tell me anything. Andy stayed silent. Do you like drawing? The boy nodded slightly. Vivian handed him paper and colored pencils. Andy began to draw a gray room with a huge washing machine in the center, and inside it, an eye. What is this, Andy? It watches me all the time. Vivian looked up at Anne. He shows signs of avoidance and fear, but we can't conclude anything yet. I recommend continued observation and a stable environment for him. But what if something's wrong? Then we'll need to intervene. But for now, let him feel loved. That night, Anne walked through the hallway and saw David sitting alone, intently watching his phone screen. What are you doing? Checking the cameras. There seems to be a problem with the kitchen one. Do you have to check every hour? You wouldn't understand. Once something bad happens, it's too late to regret. Anne turned away. Andy was slumped in front of the washing machine, his head resting on the glass door, his eyes lifeless. Sweetie, come sleep now. It opened its eye again. Did you see it, Mom? Anne couldn't say anything. Andy, come here. I bought you a new set of colors. Thank you, Mom. Anne placed the box on the table. Andy glanced at it, then lowered his head. Don't you want to draw? I don't know what to draw. Draw anything you like. Flowers, blue skies, friends. I don't have friends. Anne fell silent. Dr. Vivian said, You just need a little time. Mommy believes you'll be okay. Andy didn't respond. He turned his head toward the bathroom. I want to sit there for a while. No, sweetheart. It's too cold. Come to Mommy's room. I'll tell you a story. Mom, that eye is still open. There's no eye, Andy. You're just imagining it. No, it's watching. Every time the machine spins. Anne pulled her son close into her arms. I promise I will protect you. David came home late that night. His shirt was speckled with a few drops of rain, his face tense. The washing machine wasn't spinning evenly today. Did you put something inside it? No, I didn't use the machine all day. David sat down on a chair and opened the camera app on his phone. Then why was it making so much noise this afternoon? I saved the footage. Anne stared at the screen. She saw Andy sitting close to the washing machine, his eyes empty, his chin resting on his knees. You recorded him even when he was alone? I need to check for safety. What if there was an intruder? But Andy is a person, not an object to be monitored every second. I don't have time to argue. I'm taking a shower. Anne stood there, her hand gripping the edge of the chair. She walked to Andy's room and saw her son was already asleep, but his eyes were still half open. Andy, did your teacher say anything today? No. Did anyone bother you? Everyone doesn't play with me. Why not? Because I don't talk. I don't play. Anne bent down. I'll talk to your teacher, but you have to try to open up. Talk to your friends. You're not a bad kid. But if I talk, David will get mad. Don't worry about David. Mommy's here. Andy looked at his mother, eyes red and teary. David doesn't like me. David hates me. Anne stood outside the school gate. It was cold, wind blowing through her thin coat. A middle-aged man approached, wearing a security guard uniform. Mrs. Anne? Yes? I'm Michael, the security guard here. I wanted to ask, is Andy doing okay lately? Why do you ask? I often see him sitting alone in the corner of the yard. He doesn't play, doesn't run. One day he even sat in the rain. I had to use my coat to cover him. Oh my God. The teacher's worried too, but the boy won't talk. Usually when kids act this way, something's going on at home. Anne lowered her head. Thank you for telling me. I'll pay closer attention. I've got 2 grandchildren. Seeing Andy like that breaks my heart. He's such a sweet kid. Just his eyes look too sad. Anne clenched her fists. That night, Anne sneaked into David's home office. On the desk, his laptop was on. She carefully checked the video folder. Hundreds of files recorded from the hallway, kitchen, living room, even the corridor. Anne opened a random file. The screen showed Andy scrubbing the bathroom floor, carefully cleaning even the smallest stains. The boy said nothing, but his lips were tightly pressed, his hands trembling. "Anne, what are you doing in here?" David stood behind her, his voice icy. I was looking for a document. I need to prepare some insurance paperwork." David walked over and shut the laptop. "Don't touch my computer without permission. Did you forget who keeps this house together?" "I just wanted what? To mess up the peace around here." Anne left the room, her heart pounding. "Mom, today I saw that eye open wider. Sweetheart, how can a washing machine have an eye? It doesn't look like a human eye, but it sees." "I saw it." "Were you dreaming?" "No, it's not a dream. Every time I pass the bathroom, it moves. You don't have to pass by it anymore. I'll take care of everything." "But if I don't clean it, David will know." "David won't know anything," Andy flinched. Anne hugged him tightly, tears silently falling. The next day, Anne met with Vivian. "I'm sorry. I can't take this anymore. What happened?" "David watches every corner of the house, even when I don't know it." Andy is silent. "He's scared. Do you have any evidence? Cameras, videos?" "But I haven't dared to watch them all. I'm afraid of the truth." "Anne, you need to stay calm. If this continues, I'll have to report it to Child Protective Services." "I understand, but how do I save him without hurting him more? Sometimes the truth is the only way out." "Andy, tonight you'll sleep with Mommy." "Okay, David will be mad." "It's okay. Mommy wants to sleep with you." Andy nodded, but his eyes were still on the washing machine. "Mom, if you open that thing, the eye will get angry." "No one has the right to scare you. I will protect you, remember. But David knows everything." "David doesn't know anything." "I promise." David opened the door and stepped inside. "Did you change the Wi-Fi password?" "Yeah. Someone tried to access it and I wanted to be safer. There's nothing in this house I don't know about. You understand?" Anne didn't respond. "I just checked the network history. Someone accessed the camera folder. I just got curious." "Don't be curious. You don't want to lose everything, do you?" Anne walked over to Andy, who was sitting quietly. "Sweetheart, come to Mommy's room for a bit." Andy silently stood up. "Anne, he needs to learn independence. He's 7. He needs his mother. He needs discipline." "Like I said, Mrs. Anne, I saw Andy standing alone at the schoolyard again today." "Thank you, Mr. Michael. I'm trying to help him. If you need, I know someone in the education department. They could offer some advice." "Thank you so much. I'll reach out if I need to." "That little boy deserves to live happier than this." Anne looked at him, eyes red with emotion. "I know." That night, rain tapped steadily against the roof. Anne couldn't sleep. Andy got up and walked to the living room. Anne silently followed him. "Sweetheart?" "Mom, I just want to sit here for a bit. The washing machine isn't spinning, you see. But the eye is still open. I'll cover it up." "Okay, if you do that, David will get angry." Anne gripped her son's shoulders. "From now on, I'm not afraid of David anymore." "Andy, did anything fun happen at school today?" "Nothing fun at all." "Did you finish your lunch?" "I only ate half." "Why not?" "I wasn't hungry." At lunch, the eye opened. Anne set her spoon down. "But you were at school. How could the washing machine at home open?" Andy didn't answer. He pulled out a wrinkled piece of paper from his backpack and laid it on the table. "This is..." "I drew it." Anne picked up the paper. A large washing machine. Inside it, a bright red eye with bloodshot streaks looking like it was crying. Behind it, a faceless man with long clawed hands. Her heart sank. "Who taught you to draw this?" "No one taught me." "I saw it." "Where?" Andy looked down. "In my head." At night, David sat on the sofa, eyes glued to his phone screen. Anne walked past and glanced at it. The camera app was showing the bathroom, only dim lighting visible. "You're still watching that?" "What? The camera? Aren't you tired of checking it all day?" David didn't look up. "I have to make sure everything is under control. No one knows what could happen." "What are you talking about?" "You really have to ask? You keep sneaking around. It's only a matter of time before something happens." Anne sat down across from him. "I'm not sneaking around. I'm just worried about our son. And I don't understand why you keep watching the bathroom camera." David snapped the laptop shut. "Are you accusing me of something? Or are you looking for an excuse to blame me?" "I'm not blaming you. I'm worried about Andy." David stood up, leaned close to her face. If you say one more thing about worrying about Andy, don't blame me for what comes next. This is my house. You're just someone living under my roof. Don't forget that. Mrs. Anne. Anne turned around and saw Mrs. Helena at her ground floor window, holding a kitchen towel. Do you have a minute? Yes, is something wrong? Last night I heard something strange from your apartment. What kind of sound? Like someone hitting the wall hard, then crying. After that, silence. Anne swallowed. You're sure it came from our place? I may be old, but I'm not deaf. It was around 2 in the morning. Anne looked down at her feet. Maybe. Andy had a nightmare. And you don't seem okay. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. Thank you. Really, don't let this go too far. A child shouldn't have to live in fear. Suddenly, Andy came down with a high fever. Anne rushed him to the hospital. What did the doctor say? He doesn't have a virus or a sore throat. The fever is from psychological stress. He's only 7. What stress could he have? You should ask yourself. You're the one living with him. Anne turned to Andy, who was lying weakly, cheeks flushed. His small hand clutched an old stuffed bear. Mom, I'm here. Don't let the eye come near me. I promise I'll chase it away. Andy clung to his mother's hand, lips trembling. David is the eye. Anne choked up. No, what did you say? David is it. He's always watching. Sweetheart, what do you see? Andy didn't respond anymore. His eyes slowly closed. When she got home, Anne went straight to David's laptop. This time she was determined. She guessed the right password, David's mother's name and birth date. Inside a folder labeled System Repairs, there were numerous clips from hidden cameras. She opened one recent video. Andy was cleaning the bathroom floor. The camera angle wasn't from above. It was very low, near the ground. The little boy was bent close, scrubbing each tile groove. While cleaning, he kept glancing toward the washing machine. Another video. Andy was crouched down, trembling. There was no one else in the bathroom, but a man's voice echoed, steady and cold. Do it again. It's not clean. You don't want to be punished, do you? Anne screamed and slammed the laptop shut. She burst into tears. David, what was he doing to her son? That night when David came home, Anne tried to stay calm. I told Andy he doesn't have to clean the bathroom anymore. You're not the one who makes decisions in this house. But he's scared. I don't want him living like this. Fear is good. It teaches discipline. You think what you're doing is right? You're making accusations. You're inventing things. Can you explain then? Why is there a camera under the bathroom floor? David froze. What did you say? I saw the video. That angle isn't part of the security system. Where did you hide the camera? Under the washing machine. David slowed his steps, staring her down. You've crossed the line, Anne. I'm his mother. He's my son. You have no right. Don't raise your voice in my house. You want to walk out of here with nothing. Anne stepped back, no fear in her eyes anymore. If I walk out with nothing but save my son, I'll do it. Andy, are you ready to tell Dr. Vivian? He won't believe me. You just have to tell the truth. But David will know. Mom won't let him know. I promise. Vivian sat down and gently took Andy's hand. You can tell me the story like it's a dream. Andy nodded shyly. The washing machine. It doesn't just spin. It knows what I'm doing. It talks to me. It says if I don't clean properly, it'll open the door and pull me inside. Vivian looked at Anne, worried. Who told you those things? Andy stayed quiet for a long time, then whispered, David. Mrs. Anne, I see the boy tremble every time his stepfather comes to pick him up. I know. I'm trying to get him out of that situation. Yesterday, I saw David pulling his arm a little too roughly. I wanted to intervene, but he said I was interfering in family matters. Mr. Michael, could you testify if needed? I'll go wherever you need me to. That little boy doesn't deserve this. Night, rain poured outside. Anne held Andy close as they slept. From outside, the washing machine groaned like a beast. Andy opened his eyes. Mom, what is it, honey? The eye, it's angry. It doesn't like you hugging me. Let it be angry. If you open it, you'll understand. Anne tightened her arms around him. I won't let it hurt you. I swear, Andy whispered. David hid the eye in the belly of the washing machine. The next morning, Anne stood in the kitchen watching David pack his briefcase for work. How long will you be gone? All day. Back-to-back meetings. You forgot your phone. Oh, give it here. Anne handed it to him, her hand slightly trembling. David didn't notice, turning away. "Oh, the hallway camera's down. Don't go anywhere far." "I know." When the door shut, Anne turned to Andy. "David's gone." Andy grabbed his mother's hand tightly. Don't open it." Anne kissed her son's forehead. "I have to do this. I have to know the truth. Andy, stay in the room, okay? Don't come out until I call you." "But what are you going to do?" "I'm just going to check the washing machine." Andy backed away, clutching his shirt hem. "Don't, Mom. If you open it, the eye will see you. It'll know. You know, it's okay. I'll be very careful." Anne took a small screwdriver from the kitchen drawer, then walked toward the washing machine. It sat silently, its white casing yellowed over time. But just then she heard a soft ticking sound like a heartbeat. "Don't imagine things. It's just machinery." She knelt down and reached for the edge, feeling for the connection between the metal panels. As her hand touched it, she froze. It was cold. Not metallic cold, but like human skin. "I'm just being paranoid." She slipped the screwdriver into a small gap underneath. Gently, she twisted. A click sounded. "Mom!" Andy came running, screaming. "Don't open it. It'll wake up." "Go back to your room, Andy." Andy stood frozen at the doorway, eyes full of tears. Anne turned and hugged him tightly. "I'm sorry, but I need to know what's inside. David will be so mad. David won't find out." That evening, Anne went to see Dr. Vivian alone. "I found the camera under the washing machine." "Are you sure it's a camera?" "A tiny lens like a bean embedded in the water tank. It points straight toward the bathroom." Vivian sat up straight. "Do you have evidence?" "I'm trying to collect it, but I can't access David's phone or computer. He has everything locked." "Then be very careful. I need to ask, if I want to take Andy away from him, do I need a court order?" "If there's no protection order, it could be considered parental kidnapping. But if I prove he's been surveilling him, even psychologically abusing him with clear evidence, I can file a report with Child Protective Services. But it must be solid." "Mrs. Anne." "Yes, Mr. Michael. Today I saw David standing outside the school gate for a long time. He didn't call for Andy, didn't come in, just stood there watching around dismissal time for almost an hour before. I thought he was waiting for someone, but he just stared through the fence like he was watching. It felt off, especially since Andy told the teacher today, 'It's watching.'" Anne held her forehead. "Thank you. Can you do me a favor? Anything. If something happens, please tell the police what you saw. I will. I don't want to watch a child suffer in silence." "Andy, do you remember any songs?" Vivian asked. "I don't want to sing." "Why not?" "Every time I sing, David turns off the lights. Then the knocking starts." "Knocking from where?" "In the bathroom." "Was anyone in there?" "No, but a voice laughs. It says, 'Next time you sing, I'll punish you.'" Vivian looked at Anne. "This isn't hallucination. This is trauma repetition. Someone has terrified him so deeply that normal behavior becomes horror." Anne squeezed her son's hand. "I'm sorry I let this go on for so long. It's not your fault. It's the eye's fault." Anne found an old USB drive in David's desk drawer, labeled 2018 First Experiment. She plugged it into the laptop. The screen showed a different room, another washing machine. A different little boy, younger than Andy, was cleaning the floor. Then David's voice. "Good. That's right. You're starting to understand the rules." Anne fell out of the chair, her heart racing. It wasn't just Andy. She pulled out the USB and hid it in her pocket. That night, David came home late. Anne acted as normal as she could. "Are you cleaning the house? I saw some boxes in the hallway. I'm reorganizing old stuff. You're not thinking of leaving, are you?" "No." "You should remember this property isn't in your name." "I know." David stepped over and picked up a glass of water. "I checked the cameras. One of the feeds was cut. Know anything about that?" "No." "You didn't touch the washing machine?" Anne didn't answer. "Remember, I can trace everything, even device connection history. I just want to protect Andy. Don't use that child as a shield. You're digging your own grave." "I'm not afraid anymore." David squinted. "You're changing. I'm finally realizing how blind I've been. I'd be careful if I were you." "Anne, I've submitted an initial report to Child Protective Services," Vivian said. "But if you're planning something bigger, it needs to be precise. I want to take Andy away as soon as possible. Then you need a witness." Maybe Mr. Michael or video, photos, recordings. I'll do it. When do you plan to act? Tomorrow. David has a business trip. Good luck. The final night. A storm raged outside. The hallway light flickered like a horror movie. Anne held Andy in her arms. Mom, are we really leaving? Yes, tomorrow, once David leaves. Can I bring my teddy bear? Of course. And your sunshine drawing, too. Mom, what is it? I'm scared of tonight. The eye knows we're leaving. Anne pulled the blanket over them. I won't sleep. I'll stay up and keep watch. If the eye comes, what will you do? I'll tear it apart. Andy smiled faintly. You're like a superhero. Anne kissed his forehead. I'm your mom. Nothing stronger than that. The washing machine suddenly screeched loudly. Andy sat up, clinging to his mother. It's angry now. Anne held him tighter. Let it be. Tomorrow morning we're disappearing from this place forever. Andy, do you remember what I told you? Yes, don't open the washing machine until David leaves. That's right. And what else? Don't cry. Don't scream. Stay quiet. Good boy. He'll prepare everything today. Andy hugged his teddy bear tightly, curled up in the corner of the room, eyes vacant as if he no longer sensed time. Mom? Yes, baby? What if David comes back early? I checked. Train ticket, meeting times, everything matches. He won't be back before 10 p.m. But the eye, it's still here. Anne sat next to him, gently brushing his tangled hair. The eye can't hurt us anymore. I promise. 9 a.m. David left the house as usual. No glance, no goodbye, just the sound of the door slamming shut. Anne immediately locked it from the inside, then opened her phone and called Mrs. Helena. Can you come up to my place for a moment? What's going on? I just need you to stay with Andy for a while. I have to check the washing machine. The washing machine? Is it broken? No, but something's very wrong. 5 minutes later, Mrs. Helena arrived wearing a purple knit cardigan, her white hair tied neatly at the back. Andy, sweetheart, come sit with me, okay? I brought you some cookies. Andy nodded, hugging his pillow as he moved to the other room. Anne returned to the washing machine area, a screwdriver in hand, her throat dry. Anne, if you're unsure, don't do this alone. Call the police. I need to know for sure. I need to prove what he's been doing. Anne knelt down and carefully began removing the screws. After nearly 10 minutes, the front metal panel came off. Oh my God. Inside was a sealed black compartment lined with soundproofing material. In the center, a tiny lens the size of a pen tip was discreetly embedded in the insulation layer. Wires circled around, leading to a small box containing a transmitter and receiver chip. It's a camera. It's really a camera. Mrs. Helena stood frozen. Dear God, I can't believe this. How could anyone do this to a child? I suspected it for so long, but I never dared to believe it. Anne took out her phone and recorded the entire structure inside. She zoomed in, capturing each wire, every corner, the lens, even the hidden slot at the bottom of the drum. Would you be willing to testify if needed? Of course. I won't let that boy be harmed like this. Anne covered the washing machine with a cloth, then stood up. Now I have to pack before he comes back. Andy, we're leaving to somewhere else, somewhere no one will find us. Mom, the eye, it can't follow us. I've taken it out. It'll be angry. I don't care. From now on, I'm protecting you. I promise this time it's real. Andy slowly nodded. Where's my teddy bear? I already packed it in the suitcase, along with your sunshine drawing. Andy smiled softly. For the first time in weeks. PM. The door was suddenly pounded on. Anne jumped. Who is it? Anne, it's me, Michael, from the school. Anne opened the door and exhaled in relief. What is it, Mr. Michael? I just got word that David called the principal, asking why Andy didn't come to school today. His voice was strange, like he suspected something. That's impossible. He's supposed to be in meetings all day. Maybe it was during a break, but I thought you should know right away. Thank you so much. We're almost ready to go. I'm just waiting on an email from Dr. Vivian to attach to the complaint. Do you want me to take you both to the station? That would be great. I don't want to call a cab. He might be tracking us. 3:30 p.m. Anne opened her phone. An email from Dr. Vivian had arrived. Attached was an emergency psychological report confirming that Andy was showing signs of mental manipulation and trauma from controlling behavior. The report also included a personal note. I believe Anne is acting in defense of her child and urgently needs legal support. Anne sent all the evidence, photos, videos, the washing machine footage, to a trusted lawyer. Then she called Michael. We're ready. David showed up earlier than expected. At 4:20 p.m., the doorbell rang violently. Anne, open the door. Andy flinched. Anne picked him up and ran into the bedroom. Michael, please hurry. He's back. I'm coming up. Give me 3 minutes. The pounding grew louder. Anne, what do you think you're doing? You won't get away. Andy began to cry. Mom, I'm scared. It's okay. Just a little longer. The door shook like it was about to break. Anne held her son tightly, trying to stay calm. Michael, where are you? Right below the stairs. I've already called the police. Don't open the door, David roared from outside. Anne, you want to make this a big deal. You think taking the boy is a good idea? The court will laugh in your face. Dan shouted back, I have evidence. I have everything. You should be worrying about yourself. Silence, then loud footsteps. Michael burst through the door. Let's go. Andy was wrapped in a coat, his head resting on his mother's shoulder. Michael led them out the back exit. A black car was waiting. This is my niece's car. David won't know. Anne said nothing. She could only hold her son tightly, her heart pounding. 4 p.m. The apartment was empty. David returned. The house was silent. The washing machine had been torn apart, its casing left on the floor. The lens was gone. His phone rang. A woman's voice. Mr. David, this is an agent from Child Protective Services. We are requesting that you report for a meeting tomorrow morning regarding a formal complaint from Ms. Ann Smith. David hung up. His eyes glinted with a red fury. You think you've won, Anne. He walked to the washing machine and kicked it hard. The metal groaned. I'll take everything back. Anne and Andy were staying in a small apartment in Brooklyn, provided by a women's protection organization. Mom, how long will we stay here? Until the police finish their investigation. Will David find us? No. Mr. Michael and Dr. Vivian testified for me. Plus, we have the house's security camera footage. The washing machine. I'll never let it near you again. Andy smiled softly. Mom, I'm hungry. How about chicken soup? Do we have bread? We have butter and strawberry jam, too. Andy nodded, his eyes holding a spark of light for the first time. I want to draw. Draw what? The sun and you, know his eye. That night, Anne watched her son draw at the dining table. The picture came to life. A blue sky, 2 people hugging, and a washing machine in the background crossed out. She laughed for the first time in months, but tears still shimmered in her eyes. Mom. Yes, baby. Tomorrow can we go to the park? Of course, we'll walk around the lake. You like ducks, right? Andy nodded. Mom? You did a great job. Thank you. Anne squeezed her son's hand. Outside, the rain had stopped. Andy, do you want to color? Yes, but I don't know what to color anymore. Want me to suggest something? You could draw the ocean, the park, or a house with a flower garden. But our house doesn't have a flower garden. Our new house can, if you wanted it to. Andy lowered his head, silently flipping through blank pages. A flower garden. If David comes, all the flowers will die. Anne froze. David doesn't know where we are. The police are investigating. Dr. Vivian is helping me. Then are we safe, Mom? Not completely, but we will be soon. Andy put his pencil down. I just want to sleep without dreaming. I already told you, Doctor. Anne is delusional. Mr. David, I'm acting in a professional capacity. The evidence collected from your surveillance equipment, along with Andy's testimony, is enough to open a case. He's making it up. Children are easily influenced. What about the hidden camera under the washing machine? I was testing an internal security system. Without a permit, no notice, and pointed toward the bathroom. No harmful intent. And what about the audio recording where a man orders the boy to clean and calls him kid in a demeaning tone? David was silent. A restraining order has been issued. You are not allowed near Anne or Andy. David stood up and adjusted his tie. I'll countersue for defamation. I have my own lawyer. The police are examining additional data on your computer. If anything else is found, this will become a criminal case. I'm ready. And I've heard from the police. David denies everything. He says you staged it all. Not surprising. He's always been a great actor. I'm helping the legal team submit more evidence from the day I visited, including my statement about him standing outside the elementary school watching the yard. Thank you, Mr. Michael. If it weren't for you and Vivian, I don't think I could have made it this far. I've seen a lot of cases, but yours, it gave me chills. I just want my son to be safe, and you're going to make that happen. Andy sat by the window, looking out at the courtyard of the apartment complex. Mom? What if one day David stands down there calling my name? No one will let him get close. There's security at the main entrance. The police issued a restraining order. But what if he turns into the eye and sneaks back into the washing machine? Anne walked over and knelt in front of him. There's no more washing machine, sweetheart. That thing was just an object. It had no magic. But his voice is still in my head. I'll help you erase it. Andy nodded softly. When I sleep, can you sing to me? Of course. Back at the old apartment, David paced like a caged animal. The washing machine still sat in the living room, its casing torn off. He opened his laptop and scoured through the files. Every file in the D drive had been erased. He hissed, "You think you're clever, Anne?" He plugged a hidden USB into a concealed port under the desk. A window popped up. Folder named Video 4. Inside were dozens of videos, not just of Andy, a different little boy. Then a girl around 8, all of them cleaning. All of them shaking. David chuckled softly. "If needed, I have more than you think, Anne." His phone buzzed. It was his private attorney. "David, stop!" "It's getting worse." "What?" "A child protection organization has stepped in. They have top-tier lawyers. If you have any videos left, delete them now. They can't touch me. I never laid a hand on anyone. But your voice, your cameras, your threats, it's enough for prosecution if the case gains momentum." David hung up. His eyes flared with rage. "No one takes Andy from me. No one." Anne got a call from the police. "Mrs. Anne, we've uncovered additional data from Mr. David's system. A secondary drive contains clips from previous years. At least 2 other children were recorded under unusual circumstances." "Oh my God. The case is now officially a criminal investigation. He may face multiple charges. Will Andy have to testify in court?" "We'll try to avoid that, but if it becomes necessary, we'll ensure the safest environment possible." "Thank you." Anne set the phone down, her hands trembling. Andy stepped out of the bedroom. "Mom, who was that?" "The police. They're investigating David. Will David go to jail?" "I hope so." Andy walked over and rested his head on his mother's shoulder. "I don't hate David, but I never want to see him again." "I understand." "Mom, what if one day I hear his voice in my head again?" "I'll be there. I'll put my hand on your forehead and say, 'Only Mommy is allowed inside Andy's head.'" Andy laughed. "That's such a weird thing to say." But it's true. Night fell. Andy slept. Anne sat alone on the windowsill, watching the city sparkle with lights. Her phone rang. It was Vivian. "There's news. David may be taken into custody sometime this week." "Really?" The second drive had over 30 clips. Not just of Andy. Some clearly violate serious privacy boundaries. "Thank you. I don't even know what to say. Take care of Andy. Let us handle the legal side. One day I want to tell him, 'You're safe now forever.'" "You will." The next morning, Michael handed Anne an envelope. "The police asked me to deliver this directly. It's an official order barring David from any form of contact with Andy." Anne opened it. Her eyes welled up. "Now we're truly free from him." "Yes, Mr. Michael, yes. Yesterday, Andy said he wanted to draw you." "Me?" "He said you were the first one who told him you're not weird." Michael was touched. "He's a strong little boy because he had someone like you." That evening, Anne hugged Andy on the small sofa by the window. "Guess what?" "What, Mom?" "Tomorrow we're going to check out new schools." "Really?" "Yep, near the park. They even have art and music classes." Andy's eyes lit up. "I'm picking art. Then I'll take music. You sing terribly, though." "Hey!" They both burst out laughing. Andy hugged his drawing pillow and looked back. "Mom, can I draw an eye? But a happy one that smiles." "Of course, you can draw anything you want." Andy started sketching, humming softly. "A round eye with a smile and long eyelashes." "Is that Mommy's eye?" "No, it's the eye I use to look at you," he said. Anne smiled, wrapping an arm around him. "I'm so proud of you." "I'm proud of you too, Mommy." "Anne," Vivian called. "I just got word from the police. David has disappeared." "Disappeared?" "He didn't show up for his scheduled interview. Isn't at home and hasn't used his bank cards. There's a chance he fled." "No, that can't be." "I'm sorry. I know this is upsetting." Anne clutched the phone, eyes fixed on Andy, who was coloring by the window. If he comes back, if he finds us, there's a warrant out. He won't slip past the system easily. David's good at hiding. He plans every step. But this time you have us. You're not alone. Mom, do you like this purple color? It's beautiful. What kind of flower are you drawing? A nameless one, but it can talk. What does it say? It says, "Don't be scared anymore, Andy." Anne tried to smile, but her throat tightened. Let's give it a smile too. Okay, Andy nodded. I'll draw lots of smiling eyes. Eyes that are happy, not creepy like the other one. Good. Draw as many as you like as long as they make you happy. Andy smiled. But a moment later, his hands stopped moving and his gaze drifted. Mom, what is it? I just heard footsteps. Where? Outside the door. Very faint. Anne stood up quickly and rushed to the front door. She looked through the peephole. No one, but the doormat was out of place. A faint, wet footprint was visible. Mrs. Helena, Anne said into the phone. Anne, what's wrong? Someone was standing outside our door. Didn't knock. Didn't speak. Just stood there. Are you sure? Andy heard the steps. Then the mat was moved. There's a wet footprint. Oh my God! Can you help me? Can you come up and sit with us for a while? Of course. Let me grab my coat. 10 minutes later, Helena arrived. She carried a heavy metal umbrella. I'm not afraid to use this, you know. Anne nodded and poured her a cup of hot tea. I'll call Michael. Ask him to check the building security cameras. Do it now. We can't let this go on. Michael, did anyone suspicious show up on the 3rd floor? Let me check the footage, he said over the phone. 3 minutes of silence. Then he spoke quietly. Yes, a man in a black hoodie and cap stood outside your door for about 40 seconds. He didn't ring the bell or knock. Did he come back? No, he went down to the basement and disappeared off camera. Can you back up that clip? I'm doing it now. I've also called the police. They're on their way. Thank you, truly. Hold on to Andy, I'm coming up. Mom, it was him, wasn't it? No, sweetie. I don't know for sure if it was him, but if it was, Mommy and Mrs. Helena and Mr. Michael won't let him hurt you. Andy stared into his steaming cup of tea. David knows how to hide, how not to be seen. This time, he won't get away. He can hide in the dark or in the washing machine. Sweetheart, I already took that machine apart, but I still hear it spinning. Anne hugged him tightly. I'll do whatever it takes, even if I have to fight the whole world. As long as you're safe. 6:30 p.m., Michael arrived upstairs. Police followed just minutes later. We saw the footage. We'll check the doormat for prints, but if he didn't leave clear evidence, I understand. Mrs. Anne, if you don't feel safe, we can help relocate you and your son. Thank you, but I'm tired of running. Then reinforce the door. Add locks, motion sensors, and always keep your phone on you. I will. Andy quietly tugged on Anne's hand. Mom, what is it? Tonight, if I hear knocking, will you believe me? I'll always believe you. Anne triple-locked the door, taped foil over the gaps of light, and turned off all the hallway lights. Inside the apartment, only the soft glow of the nightlight remained. Andy rested his head on his mother's lap. Tell me a story, Mom. What kind of story do you want to hear? One about a brave mom who saved her child from a monster. Then I'll tell you the story of a mother named Anne and a son named Andy. Exactly. They lived in an apartment with a talking washing machine. But in the end, they win, right, Mom? That depends on what happens next. Andy slowly closed his eyes. Anne gently stroked his hair. Then came the sound of the washing machine. A low hum from somewhere distant. Anne jumped. She knelt, listening. No, that wasn't the washing machine. It was something else, knocking, 3 taps, tap, tap, tap. Andy's eyes opened. Mom, he's coming. Anne held her breath. She followed the sound. It was coming from behind the bathroom wall. She stepped softly, lifted the small rug. Nothing. But the section of wall where the washing machine once stood had a crack. No way, she pressed her ear to it. Silence, then a whisper. Anne? She jumped up and grabbed Andy. Pack your things now. Mom, there's no time. Anne dragged the suitcase into the center of the room. Outside, the wind began to howl through the window cracks. She gathered documents, medicine, clothes, and Andy's drawing. Everything was ready. The phone rang. Unknown number. Anne Smith? Yes, who is this? This is the night shift officer. We just received a report. David may have used a fake ID to enter New York City. He was seen near the Brooklyn area around 6:20 p.m. We're here. We know. A unit is on its way. Stay quiet. Don't open the door. Don't go out on the balcony. Yes. Anne hung up, her hands shaking. Andy clung to her mother's hand. Mom, the eye is open. No, don't say that. It's looking from inside the wall. There is no eye. It's just us, and I won't let it hurt you ever again. 10 p.m., rain started falling. Anne checked the clock. The police still hadn't arrived. The doorbell rang. This time it wasn't knocking. It was the electronic chime. Anne held her breath. Who is it? No answer. Who's out there? Silence. Andy hugged his pillow and backed into the corner. Mom, if he gets in, what will you do? Anne opened the kitchen drawer and pulled out a knife. I won't let him touch you, even if I have to. The lights went out. Darkness consumed the room. Andy screamed, Mom, I'm right here. Anne clutched her son, backing into the bedroom. Footsteps echoed outside the door. Anne opened the door. I know you're in there, David. That voice, deep, warm, but laced with a chilling threat. Get out of here. You took my son. You destroyed my home. You think you can get away with it? I have the police. I have proof. They're on their way. They won't be fast enough, Anne. Andy sobbed. Mom, I'm scared. I'm here, sweetheart. Close your eyes. Don't listen to anything. A loud bang. Something slammed against the front door. A second time, a third. Anne tightened her grip around Andy. Just let morning come. We'll be free. One last bang. Anne, open the door. I know you're in there. The police are coming. Go away, David. No one's coming in time. You should open the door before I lose my patience. Mom, I'm scared. Hide in the closet now, Mom. I'll call you when it's safe. Trust me. Andy ran into the bedroom. Anne locked the door tight, backing toward the kitchen. The knife was still in the drawer. I'm counting to 3, Anne. 1. David, I swear if you step inside, I'll... 2. The police have your hard drive. They've got a search warrant. 3. The door shattered. Wood exploded inward. David burst in, eyes wild. You ruined me. You destroyed me. You ruined yourself. You had no right to take him. He's not your son. I raised him. You tortured him. You put a camera in the washing machine to watch him. Do you even know what you are? David froze. Anne raised her phone. Everything's being recorded. You just confessed. You're done, David. You won't make it out. David lunged forward. Anne lifted the knife, her hands trembling. Back off. I'm warning you. You don't have the guts, sirens wailed. Red and blue lights flashed through the window. David stopped dead. No way. It's the police. You're not going anywhere. 3 officers burst through the front door. David Miller, you are under arrest for violation of privacy, threats against a minor and obstruction of justice. Get off me. I didn't do anything. I just want my son. Your lawyer can say that in court. Anne, you'll regret this. No, you will. Anne, are you okay? Dr. Vivian, I'm outside. The police just told me they caught David. Andy, I need to go to him. Anne opened the closet. Andy was curled up, hugging his pillow. Sweetheart, it's over. They arrested David. Really, Mom? You're safe forever now. Andy burst into tears and hugged his mother tightly. You protected me, and I always will. We've completed the search of the washing machine. The device inside had a lens, signal transmitter, and a memory card with over 70 recorded clips. Oh my God. David's computer had logs. He tracked Andy's schedule, bath times, meals, even minor behaviors. Did he keep photos? Yes, photos, videos, and reminders like, make him clean thoroughly. If he resists, raise your voice. The eye must always watch. He used the washing machine as psychological torture. Exactly. It qualifies as extreme psychological abuse. What will happen to David? With current evidence, at least 10 years in prison. Possibly more if other victims come forward. How many victims? 2 other cases are being verified. Anne looked at her trembling hands. I just want my son to live like a normal child. And now he can. Andy, are you hungry? I want chicken soup. I'll make it right away. Mom? Yes, sweetie. Will David come back? No, he's been taken away. He won't come back, never. Andy slowly spooned the soup, then looked up. I want to redraw that picture. Which one? The washing machine. But this time it explodes. Draw it, honey. I'll hang it on the wall. Andy smiled. Anne, The police are asking you to come in to finalize the case file. Just a formality. I'll go. Can Andy stay with Mrs. Helena? Of course. She's been looking forward to spending time with Andy. Thank you, Vivian, for everything. You're the one who stood up. Many mothers don't have the courage. I'm not brave. I'm just a mother who was scared. But you kept moving forward. That's true strength. Andy, Mrs. Helena brought you these cookies. Thank you, ma'am. Would you like to tell me a story? I drew a picture. I drew the eye-breaking. Sharp pieces flying everywhere. You're not afraid of it anymore. A little. But Mum said, each time you draw, you erase a little of the fear. Your mum's very wise. She's my superhero. Helena smiled, her eyes misty. Then today, I'll be your superhero's sidekick. Okay. Yes, Anne. Here's the final report. David will stand trial next month. The no-contact order is permanent. Good, that's all I wanted. Would you like to file for sole custody? Yes, I don't want my son tied to that man for even one more second. We'll help you with the paperwork. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Mom, I want to go to the park today. All right, but dress warmly. It's windy. I'll bring my teddy bear so it can see real trees and your coloring set. Of course, I'll draw the trees, you and the wind. Anne helped her son into his coat. I'm not bringing my phone today. We don't need it. Just each other. Andy hugged her tightly. Mom, last night I dreamed I could fly. No washing machine, no eye. Where did you fly to? A place with purple flowers. The flowers were smiling and you were there. Anne bent down and kissed his forehead. You're already living in that dream. Andy grinned and took his mother's hand, running toward the park. Mrs. Helena, can I ask you something? Of course, dear. I plan to move away after the trial, somewhere sunny near the ocean, quiet. That's a good decision. I want to start over. Give Andy a new childhood. Whatever you need, call me, even from far away. You were the first person who noticed something in Andy's eyes. I'll always be grateful. Helena gently squeezed Anne's hand. And now his eyes shine like a child's again. That's the greatest reward. Night, Anne lay beside her son. Mom, where are we going tomorrow? We'll sit in the yard, listen to birds, eat bread with strawberry jam and draw and draw. What will we draw? The future. Andy blinked slowly. Mom? Yes, sweetheart. If someone asks who is Andy, what would you say? He's the bravest boy I've ever known. I love you, Mom. I love you too, always. Mom, what's a trial? It's where people decide who's right, who's wrong, and who needs to be punished. Like David. P.S. He'll have to face what he did. Andy sat in silence for a moment. If I go to court, will I have to talk to David? No, I spoke with the lawyer. You won't have to. The adults will protect you. But what if he looks at me? He's not allowed to. And if he does, just look at me. Andy nodded and whispered, I'm not scared anymore. Why not? Because he's more afraid of you than I am of him. And I'm Laura, the prosecutor on David Miller's case. Are you ready? I'm ready. Today's the main hearing. David will be present but kept separate. You'll be the first to testify. I only need to tell the truth. That's the strongest thing you have. David sat on the other side, handcuffed, his expression cold as stone. When Anne entered the courtroom, he sneered. Looking good, Anne, so you won, huh? Anne didn't look at him. She stood tall, hands lightly clenched, eyes focused on the judge. Anne Smith, how long did you live with the defendant? 2 years and 8 months. During that time, did the defendant attempt to control you and your son? Yes. He installed a hidden camera inside the washing machine facing the bathroom to monitor my son, Andy, who was 7 years old. How did you discover it? My son started showing signs of being withdrawn and afraid. He wouldn't talk, wouldn't play. I'd find him sitting for hours in front of the washing machine, and I heard voices in the bathroom when David wasn't even home. Do you have concrete evidence? I recorded the device inside the washing machine. The police have it. There are also videos and audio files from the defendant's computer. Were there any particularly notable phrases in those recordings? Yes, David referred to Andy as it. He said, if you don't clean properly, the eye will open and punish you. David roared from his seat. Lies! The judge banged the gavel. Silence, defendant. Anne stood firm. He doesn't know how to lie. He only knows how to be afraid, and it took me nearly a year to bring back his laughter. Laura, the prosecutor, nodded. No further questions. David Miller, do you have anything to say in your defense? I'm the one who was betrayed. I raised that boy. I was just trying to teach him discipline. By installing a hidden camera in a household appliance? It was a security system. I didn't invade anything. But you stored bathing clips, private recordings, to monitor his health. I suspected he was sick. And the dialogue in the recordings. I was testing a training tool. And what about the other victims? A little girl in Portland, a boy in Minneapolis. David froze. Nothing more to say. David looked at Anne, eyes full of fury, then lowered his head. I have no defense, the judge spoke. The trial will resume this afternoon, but for now, based on the evidence presented, I agree with the prosecution. David Miller is to be placed in immediate custody and kept completely separated from the witnesses. Anne stepped into the hallway. Andy was sitting with Vivian and Helena. Mom? Anne embraced him. It's done. Is he locked up? Yes, and this time for a long time. I don't want him to go to jail because of me. He's going to jail because of what he did. Andy nodded. Can we get ice cream now? Strawberry with chocolate. A week later, the court handed down the sentence. David Miller, 17 years in prison, no parole and a permanent restraining order barring any contact with Andy or Anne. Anne wept. Helena held her hand. You did it. I still can't believe it. Then look at Andy. Andy was chasing a butterfly in the public garden in a white shirt, cheeks rosy, laughing like silver bells. I think I just came back to life too. Mom, does our new house have a name? Yes, no eyes, no more eyes watching. Only light. I like that name. So do I. 2 months later, Anne moved with Andy to San Diego. They lived in a small apartment near the sea. Walls painted light blue, windows open to the breeze, no cameras, no dim lights. Mom, I met a new friend today. What's their name? Ethan. He likes teddy bears like I do. Then you two are going to be best friends. He said, you're not weird. Mom, I'm not weird anymore. You never were. You were just hurt. Andy hugged his mom. But now I have magic. What kind of magic? I can tell who's good and who's bad. That's a powerful gift, just like my mom. One spring day, Andy brought his drawing pad to the rooftop. Mom, what is it, sweetheart? I just finished a drawing. Let me see. Andy held up his picture. A yellow house, mom and son at the door. A smiling sun above and beneath it. A washing machine blooming with flowers. Why is the washing machine growing flowers? Because I forgave it. Anne was stunned. You forgave him? No, I forgave the memory. Anne hugged him, tears falling silently. You make me proud. You should forgive yourself too. Forgive myself for what? For being afraid. But you're not anymore. I'll try, Andy nodded. And from now on, let's only look into eyes that know how to smile. Okay, your eyes are the most beautiful. No, yours are. They looked at each other and laughed, bathed in golden sunlight. Vivian's calling, Mom. Hello, Anne. I just got the news. David filed an appeal. It was completely rejected. The judge wrote, this criminal has no place near any child ever again. It's really over. Now it is. You were the first to believe me. Thank you. No, I just did what every adult should do. If everyone were like you, there'd be no more Andys suffering in silence. But thanks to you, one Andy spoke up. That's the beginning of hope, Anne wrote in her journal. Today, Andy laughed all afternoon. He drew flowers, his mother, and even the past. But there was no more darkness. Only the horizon and a sun that knew how to smile. She closed the notebook and looked toward the balcony. Andy was watering the plants, singing softly. Purple flowers bloom. Mom and me, no more eyes, only hearts. Anne closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Freedom real at last. This story is a powerful wake-up call about the dangers of emotional neglect within families and the devastating harm of manipulative control disguised as protection. It underscores the irreplaceable role of a mother who dares to rise and confront the darkness to protect her child. The greatest lesson is this: listen to children. Trust the intuition of love and never stay silent in the face of emotional abuse. Salvation doesn't come from miracles. It comes from courage, awareness, and unconditional love. If you enjoyed this story, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep bringing heartwarming stories almost every day. We are very grateful for your support. See you soon.